morning, Laguna Woods. It's another day, and you're wisely starting it off with inspiration for today. And I pray it's just that, inspiration for your day. Now, in order to do that, we always start with a verse. We do that because the Bible, written by God, is where we truly get our spiritual inspiration. Because, at least on this show, we're all followers of Christ. And I certainly have one of my favorites with us again today, and it's Buddy Owen. And is it Owen or Owens?
There's an S.
So you are
Owens.
plural.
I am plural.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't. I should know that. I've only known Buddy for about 15 years now. But
Happens
anyway,
all the time.
Anyway, so Buddy Owens, and so Buddy is one of our teaching pastors here. He had a great verse for us yesterday, and I loved it so much I was going to use it again today. But Buddy, you say you have another verse you want to bless us with.
Well, yeah. Another sort of life verse is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 18. It says, "The path of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn, shining ever brighter until the full light of day." So you think, because people want to know, well, what's the path? What's God's will? What am I supposed to do with my life? And so often people think they've missed it, or they think it's too late. It says, the path of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn. You think, well, what does the first gleam of dawn look like? Now, for a guy like me who's not a morning guy, I have no idea.
No, but you've read about
Unless
it.
I stayed up all night. Yeah, I've read about it. No, the first gleam of dawn is just a faint glow on the horizon. You know something's coming, but you haven't even seen the sun yet. There's just this glow. He says the path is like the first gleam of dawn, shining ever brighter until the full light of day, which means it takes a lifetime to really see what that pathway is. And usually it's in hindsight as you look back and you can see how God has led you certain steps. And as you also can see new illumination, new light, day by day, step by step, as you move forward into it. And I found that to be true in my own life, in seeing where I am today, having no idea I was going to be here, all those years ago.
I laugh because I say the same thing. I don't understand how I got here.
And you're just following the steps that God reveals as day by day that sun becomes brighter and brighter until the full light of day. And of course, sometimes I still feel like I'm living in the dark, but I'm seeing more.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more you see, the more you can say, now I can see why this happened. I can see how all of these pieces fit together. And the picture starts to emerge of what God had in mind all along.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And that's one of the blessings of getting more senior. Because and we were even talking about some advice that because most of our audience are seniors, not all.
Yeah.
Some of the YouTube people are younger, but was there something you wanted to share?
Well,
what's on your heart?
Well, in thinking about, because I'm 61, so I'm on the low side of senior.
You are.
But I really love being in my 60s. You know how some people, they just fear when they hit 50. They go into this midlife crisis and they freak out. I loved turning 50 because I felt like I was finally old enough to have something worth saying, And now in my 60s, what I love so much about what I do here at Saddleback, I mean, the teaching is wonderful, and I like to do that. But actually, my favorite part is the mentoring of our younger staff. Wow. Of just whatever I know, pouring it into younger men and women, and helping nurture them along and point out the signposts along the way and things that they need to be careful of, and just watching the development of their ministries. That's what I enjoy the most.
Well, I think your wisdom of seeing where God has worked at times in the past, obviously when things, then that helps you cope with the things of today, knowing that there's a plan behind it. And it's this loving Father. I preach this a lot.
Yeah. Well, and there is a plan behind everybody else. It's not just the plan for me. One of the great questions that I love to ask myself and other people came from a man named Howard Hendricks, who was a professor at
Yeah.
Dallas Theological Seminary, and he's a great teacher on mentoring. He says, by the time you're in your 60s, you've probably decided who's going to inherit the house, who's going to inherit your money, who's going to get the stocks and bonds, and who's going to inherit all of this stuff. He said, my question is, who is going to inherit your wisdom? And that's a question every one of us, every person in the audience, everyone watching, has to answer that question, because I have wisdom. It's from my life experience. Who's going to inherit my wisdom? And that's why I love the mentoring part of what I get to do for our staff, is just say, okay, I'm just going to pour into people and see who's going to take advantage of it and do something with it.
That is so needed, Laguna Woods. Think in
Yes.
terms of finding ways that you can share your wisdom
Yes.
with your kids, but maybe even more so your grandchildren,
Yes.
who are a little maybe more open.
Yes.
Mine just gave me a little book on like questions, 365 questions about what I have learned in life
Wow.
on different topics.
That's a great idea.
Encouraged to write one a day
Yeah.
and then give it back.
Yes.
Buddy, that's a great idea.
There is a great wealth of wisdom in Laguna Woods. It's all sitting there. It's like a deep vault of wisdom that needs to be shared with people.
Yeah.
So that's my question to a Laguna Woods crowd is, who's going to inherit your wisdom? Who are you giving it to? It's like sowing seeds, and some of those seeds, you'll never see the fruit of it on this side. And so, but it will produce fruit.
So I would say find a way to do what Buddy has encouraged us to do, even to the point, obviously, sharing directly with your kids and grandkids.
Yeah.
But you also can take my children actually they took questions and videoed their grandparents.
Huh.
And so they would have that to keep into the future what Grammy said on different things.
Yes. Now, a great way.
So anyone can do that.
Well, certainly they can. Now, sometimes it's a little awkward. How do you start the conversation without the kids feeling like you're nosing in on their business? So one of the things you can do, and I actually do this often with people, if you text at all, is you send them a 4-word text. It's only 4 words.
Okay.
Praying for you today. That's all you have to say. Praying for you today.
So you don't say, how should I?
No, just say, praying for you today. And it's amazing how often someone will write back and say, how did you know? Oh, this is what's going on. Oh, can you pray about this? Now you have an open door to share your wisdom. And instead of just bringing it to somebody, it's an answer to a need that they have brought up to you, all because you said, I'm praying for you today.
And no one resents that.
No.
No, don't pray for me.
No, not even an atheist. If you tell an atheist, I'm going to pray for you, they say, well, if you believe in that stuff, then you can pray this and this and this. And, they won't ever say no.
It's amazing. Yeah, I'm covering my bases. And if you... buddy.
Anybody who's desperate enough will appreciate prayer no matter what they believe.
So we're almost out of time.
Okay.
We've talked about your teaching here, but I know you have a writing role also.
I do.
Don't you like small group material?
I do. I put small group material together. I work on all of Rick's campaigns, Pastor Rick's spiritual growth campaigns, and then I write some of my own. Actually, just finished taping a new small group study of my own called God Encounters, and there'll be several volumes of it. It's just unpacking the encounters people had with Jesus in the New Testament, and then there also will be some from the Old Testament. Yeah.
I can't wait to do that.
Well, good.
I mean, it'll be available for Saddleback.
It'll be available within the next month and a half. Yeah.
I'm going to talk to my small groups pastor who.
Yes.
We're very near to one another. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Good.
Hey, thank you for coming by, buddy. This has been a blast.
It's been great to be here.
I love you and your ministry. You are a blessing to me and to our people many times over.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, friend. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.